All right, now back and next on the tee with me is a lady who brings a very unique blend of passion, expertise, and creativity to everything that she does. You probably know Susan Irby as the Bikini Chef, but don't let that title fool you because she is so much more than bikinis and great recipes. Susan has built an incredible brand around healthy living, smart nutrition, and making food both doable and fun. She's a television personality, an author, and a host who inspires people around the world to rethink how they fuel their bodies without sacrificing flavor. She's the person who got me drinking a shot of fresh squeezed lemon juice first thing every morning. Look, from her appearances on major networks to her own shows and cookbooks, she's helped make healthy eating something that we can all actually do and stick to. One of the many things that I love about Susan is how she connects it all back to performance, energy, focus, and living your best life, which translates directly to all of us when we're out on the golf course. And I couldn't be more excited. I get to spend some more time with her this week here on Next on the Tee. Hey, Susan, how are you, my friend?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing great, thank you. Happy Masters Week to you and to those who celebrate.
Yes, well, I so enjoyed Dr. Winters and the stories, and I went to college at University of Georgia with Jack Nicklaus' daughter, Nan. So
wow.
She and I were in the same sorority. We did not golf together, but what a privilege to know. I mean, there's so many talented golfers, now and over the years, but that was kind of, not to date myself, it was kind of my era, right? The Jackson, the Arnolds, and
with ya.
Yeah, and where I live in San Juan Capistrano, California, just there's a very beautiful golf course right down the street from me, and I don't golf that much, but a lot of my friends are golfers. I mean, and they're just out there, if not every day, all the time. And I got to tell you, they're in great shape. They're not, they walk the course a lot of times. They do, but they just stay active, and it's a beautiful experience for them. And the golf courses are so relaxing, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Susan, before we get into all the things that I want to talk with you about, first of all, I want to start off by giving you a huge congratulations. Your show, America's Next Bikini Chef, won an award at the Taste Awards for Guilty Addiction of the Year. You were also nominated in the Best Fitness and Health category, Best Series Plot, and Best Multi-Camera Production categories. What a tremendous honor. Good for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's still a work of love and work in progress. But it's very exciting. We're making a difference in people's lives, and really just getting people around the country and ultimately around the globe to just be more aware of not just what they put in their bodies, but staying active, right? And so I think that's it's all part of the lifestyle.
Like I mentioned in your intro, you have built a brand around healthy living that actually feels doable, which is very rare out there. Most people get things wrong. We dread a diet. We don't think that with the food that we can make can taste good. It kind of feels drab and all that sort of thing. But the things that you are out there creating and the things that you are showing on your website, in your cookbooks, those things look absolutely fantastic. Talk about making a diet something that we can actually stick to.
Well, it's exciting. You just choose your PFFs or your BFFs. And your PFFs are lean proteins, high fiber foods, healthy fats, and those are going to be your best friends forever. And it's really, I really don't do overly complicated dishes. My dishes are very simple, flavorful, and beautiful, right? My mother taught me, I think we spoke about this before, a colorful plate is a healthy plate. And the way I infuse flavors and deliciousness is by adding those colors, whether it's red bell pepper or tomatoes or sun-dried tomatoes, and then layers of fresh basil or cilantro, rosemary, thyme, and lemon. I'm so proud of you for your lemon shot.
I have you to thank.
Well, you're welcome. I hope you're really, really enjoying it. I guess you are, but I still do mine every morning. Sometimes I'll do two a days. I'll do
Is
two.
that right?
Yeah, every now and then. Yeah. Yeah, just it's so good for your immune system and your metabolism. I and it's different than orange or lime. Lemon just has a very special quality to it. And I put a lot of lemon zest and lemon juice into my dishes, whether they're savory dishes or dessert dishes. It just gives that little oomph of flavor and brightness that brings out the other flavors in the foods that make the dish tasty. Makes you want
Yeah.
to eat it. So, yeah.
When you're talking with people, whether it's one on one like this or you're speaking to an audience, and we all hear the term healthy eating, what do most of us get wrong? What do we think is healthy eating, but we're actually mistaken about that?
You feel it's boring. You think healthy eating means that you can't eat a hamburger ever, or that it's not about what you cannot eat. It's about the majority of your food choices. So if you're going to have a steak, you know, prefer a lean cut. I know a lot of people like ribeyes.
Yes.
I'm a filet mignon kind of girl. you know, Try for the leaner cuts of meat and don't smother it with sauces, right? Or if you do smother it with a sauce, make it a red wine reduction, not necessarily a cream sauce. If you're going to go with chicken, grilled chicken, I one of my most recent dishes that I did a video about and posted in social media platforms was my pesto chicken sandwich. So it's served on a whole wheat English muffin that's toasted. I make a delicious bikini basil pesto, and that is low fat, lower calorie, but it's delicious. And then I top it with diced up marinated red bell pepper, and of course I put my lemon zest on there. It is incredible. It tastes great. You're not missing out on anything. You get the layers of texture and flavor. I think a lot of people, when they think of healthy eating, they think that it's going to be not just bland, but there's not going to be any texture to it, And the key to enjoying any dish, whether it's healthy for you or not, is those layers of textures. So you want something meaty, something crunchy, something a little smooth. And that's why when you go to a restaurant, you have all of the layers, you'll have a puree, you'll have your protein. So it goes back to lean protein, high fiber foods, and healthy fat.
Susan, since it is Masters Week, and we talked about this last time, but you are literally from right down the street from where my house is. But back in the day when you lived here, did you and the family, did you guys get into the Masters? Did you ever go to the tournament? And was any of that a part of your lives?
I never was able to attend the tournament. I would love to attend someday. I mean, just the course and the flowers or just being there is going to be just a supernatural experience. But I did have a lot of friends that played golf, did attend the Masters. I actually worked for Athens Banner Hill newspaper, and so our news reporters would go down and cover the Masters because it was in Athens, Georgia, which is not very far at all. So I never got to go, but it's an experience that I'm sure is out of this world.
It is indeed. One of my favorite things that I eat when I go to the tournament is the egg salad sandwich, my favorite of all of the different sandwiches. And you've got an egg salad nice recipe on your website that I'm very intrigued about. Talk about your recipe.
Egg salad, it can be anything you want it to be. So I just do layers, scrambled eggs. I put in some flax seeds or some chia seeds. I serve it with some avocado. One thing that I love to incorporate for all the cheese lovers out there, because I don't eat a lot of cheese, But one cheese that I do advocate is going to be goat cheese. It's easier to digest. So if you can want to fold in some of the goat cheese to that egg salad, I have a deviled egg recipe coming out soon where I do that. Chives are always good. How do you like your egg salad?
I can't make it, so let's start with that. But whatever they do at Augusta National is just phenomenal. I mean, I'm not a huge mustard guy, but I feel like it's got kind of a mustard seed kind of taste and mixed in with the egg salad. So I think they do it up right.
They do. Mustard is always a great ingredient to add. Again, it's a very bikini ingredient because it doesn't add calories and fat, right? But it adds a lot of flavor. You have to be a little careful with mustard that you don't get too much mustard. It can overpower your dish. But yeah, mustard is a wonderful metabolism booster. In my yummy egg salad, I do have mustard. I use actually the prepared mustard. A lot of people will say, "What is prepared mustard?" It's just like your bottled mustard at the grocery. It's not the Dijon style. It's the regular style. And I use a little bit of cumin. Cumin is one of my go-to spices, along with turmeric and cardamom. And those just make for incredible flavorful spice blend. But I use a hint of cumin in this, and even little tiny pinches of spices like this help prevent or reduce inflammation, which is important when you're golfing.
Yes.
Right? So you might end up with some back inflammation, your joints. So anything that you can do to kind of reduce that inflammation is important, and a little cumin goes a long way.
Susan, we're all becoming more and more health conscious, even golfers. Now, traditionally, male golfers don't have the best bodies out there. What are the biggest nutrition mistakes that you see golfers like me making when we're playing a round of golf? Because traditionally, when we make the turn, we're reaching for a hot dog, we're grabbing a beer along the way. What should we have instead of that hot dog? What should we be drinking instead of that beer?
Well, just really quickly, in the egg salad recipe, I use watercress, and watercress is, so the greens like watercress, arugula, they actually have a natural water content to them, which is important. So instead of grabbing that hot dog that's going to maybe dehydrate you, try to find something that's on the cart. What do they typically have on your cart besides the hot dog?
Yeah, I mean, it's candy bars and crackers and stuff like that.
Okay, but maybe you could pack your own snacks, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So pack your own snacks. Pack a lean protein bar. A lot of guys and gals take their coolers with them, don't you? So,
yes.
So in your cooler, you can pack some deli turkey. I know this is going to sound really boring, but cucumbers and deli turkey, it's really good. Very refreshing. Doesn't sound very interesting, but I promise it is. It's going to give you more energy than that hot dog. So,
yes.
Yeah, but just in your regular diet, selecting, adding nutrients like we talked about, the turmeric, the cardamom, paprika, cayenne pepper is a metabolism boosting ingredient. Red bell peppers are anti-inflammatory ingredients, right? The mustard is great. And just sticking to the leaner proteins versus that hot dog, right? A hot dog's going to have a lot of fat, going to be served in a bun, which is going to be heavy on the starchy carbs. So that's going to weigh you down. It's going to zap your energy and make you feel bloated and sluggish. So if there's another sandwich, or if you could pack your own sandwich on a whole grain bread, or like one of the power seed breads with some lean protein, like I said, I don't eat a lot of cheese, but if you're out there playing 18 holes, I know some people that played like 36 holes before. Okay, it's all right. You can have some cheese. But, and making sure, and honestly, also, well, if it's really a hot day, the dark chocolate might melt, but dark chocolate is really excellent for a quick energy boost. And it's also very good for, it has natural healing properties for it and the good fats, as we say. But you want to go for the dark chocolate versus the milk chocolate.
Susan, nowadays the weight loss drugs like Ozempic are everywhere, and everyone is looking to get on them for those of us that are trying to lose weight. But for the person that wants to try to do it a little more naturally, or combine a better diet for weight loss with the things that we might be taking to help us as well, what are things that we need to do in order to adjust our diets and enhance our abilities to be more successful and to get our minds right around trying to lose weight?
I think it does begin in the mind, right? So you have to, you're not what you eat today. You're what you eat and drink day after day after day. And I feel it's important to just establish personally what your personal goals are. Is this how I want to feel? It's not even necessarily about the weight per se. It's how you feel, whether it's you want to lose 5 pounds, 12 pounds, 25 pounds, or more. It's do you have achy joints? Do you have back pain? Do your knees hurt? Are you tired all the time? Do you wear out? And you have to make a personal decision to say, is this the way I want to feel every single day? And it really starts with your own personal commitment and just feeling like, you know what, however old a person is, whether they're 25, 55, 85, right? It's, hey, I've had plenty of years living this life and I don't feel so great anymore. Or I'd really like to feel better when I wear this golf attire or this dress or this, my khakis and button down shirt to my meeting. I want to look better. I want to feel better and more confident. So your guy, Dr. Winters, he's a confidence doctor, right? He would probably agree with this. You have to say, how many years of feeling not my best do I want to do that? And what changes can I make that are small changes? And it doesn't mean every day is going to be perfect, but it does mean that you can strive for a goal and you can say, you know what, I'm not going to have that hot dog before the back nine. I'm going to choose the turkey salad sandwich, right? I'm not going to choose the chip. I'm going to choose, sorry, but celery and carrots taste good and they're good for you. And they're easy to carry around. And trust me, once you get to the point of eating that, on a more regular basis, making those choices, it gets easier and easier to where the point is. And if you went back to that, you're not going to feel good. And you're like, wow, I forgot how good I feel. And I actually was interviewed by First for Women magazine several years ago. And I went through a lot. I'm not a perfect eater, and all of that. But it was, we all go through struggles. But one of the title of the article was, I forgot that I could feel this good, So it's just getting back to the basics of the lean proteins, high fiber foods, healthy fats. You stick to those 3 key ingredients, whether you're making something at home or going out to dinner, lunch, on the golf course. You focus on a lean protein, a high fiber food, and a healthy fat, avocado, that goat cheese we talked about, and olive oil versus something that's fried. once you start continuing to make those choices, those are going to be the choices you want to make on a regular basis.
So let's take all of that a step further, Susan, because when you were starting out that explanation, you were talking about does this hurt, does that hurt, do your knees hurt, do your ankles hurt, all those things. And as you were kind of going down that list, if we were on video, I would have raised my hand like, yeah, all of those things hurt. All of those things hurt, Susan. So what is causing us to have those pains so that we can get a really good idea of associating the foods we eat are causing the inflammation and the pains that we are having?
Well, I put together a food healing kitchen makeover program to where we would do a deep dive with you. I would give you a plan, be a 7-day plan. You have to be honest on the plan, but it's not a plan. And I give you a chart and you write down from your lemon shot in the morning to whether you have coffee or tea to whatever you eat and drink all day, every day for a week without changing anything. So that'd be your current diet, what you're eating and drinking from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep for 7 days. And then we look at that and we find the areas where, and we discuss, okay, you're having back pain, you're having knee pain, what's in your pantry, what's in your refrigerator, what's in your freezer, but we establish that based on your goals, what you're consuming, both drinking and what you're eating, because if when people drink a lot of sodas, or even if they're drinking carbonated waters, that's not going to be as healthy for your joints as water. So you can flavor your water with mint leaves and cucumber, lemon, lime, those types of things that help metabolize and they flavor the water so you actually want to drink it. But carbonated water is actually dehydrating to the body.
Is that right?
Yeah. So if you're drinking a lot of carbonated drinks, even carbonated low calorie, no calorie drinks, it's going to dehydrate your body and that's going to cause joint pain. When you think of the cells in your body, the cells in our body are made up of the majority of our cells are comprised of water. So if we're constantly and consistently, especially when people are on the golf course, generally you're out in the sun, you're active, and you're drinking, like you said, beer or some other cocktail. Hey, guilty. I'm not preaching to the choir. I'm just saying, but you need to layer it with just a bottle of water. Yeah. One beer, one water. Okay. Even if it's one glass of water, you don't finish the whole bottle. If you have 2 beers, then drink 1 bottle. But you've got to be replacing the dehydration with good old basic water.
We've mentioned a couple of times throughout this conversation about the lemon shots that I do every morning. And again, credit all goes to you for telling me to do that. But for the folks that are listening, they may be asking, why would you do that to start your day? Explain what you get from that.
A lot of people ask me that question and they're like, oh, well, do you put ginger in it or paprika, or some people do diluted lemon? No, a pure lemon shot. I do it without fail every single morning because it stimulates. So when I wake up in the morning, I have my lemon shot by my bedside. I get out my Bible, I read my Bible, I do my lemon shot, and I start reading my Bible. I can feel my metabolism just while I'm reading my Bible. I can feel my metabolism increase because the natural heat in my body, I can feel my body temperature change. And so it's an immediate boost to your metabolism. I'm not a doctor. I do know food healing, but it does have some kind of incredible property that stimulates your immune system. I don't want to jinx myself, but I rarely, if ever, get sick, and I attribute it to my morning lemon shot, just pure lemon. And also, it stimulates your digestive system, which makes sense, right? If your metabolism is increasing, your digestive system is going to increase as well. And so you're going to have a good BHBM. I haven't used that term in a while, but you're going to have a big, huge bowel movement. And when you do that, and that's when you do your lemon shot and you don't eat or drink anything else for about 20 minutes. And you just let that lemon do its thing with your metabolism, your digestive flow, and give you some of that immune boost. You have a big, huge bowel movement. At BHBM, you're going to poop out a bunch of toxins and fats from the day before. So that's important. You got to get rid of that. And you'll feel great. You might even lose a pant size first thing before you get on the golf course.
There you go. Are you a fan of apple cider vinegar?
I do. I don't shoot it. I did for a while. So at one point, I was eating a lot I love salmon. I don't know if you remember that. I eat salmon every day. 99% of the time, it's grilled salmon. I do it blackened and broiled, actually. But I was on a kick there where I was doing a lot of smoked salmon. Okay. So even though it's salmon and I love smoked salmon, but it's really not that good for you to do on a regular basis. But I was eating a lot of smoked salmon and I got this little nodule on, ironically, my middle finger on one of my hands. And I was like, that's really weird. And I was on a trip filming and there was a holistic doctor. He's more of an energy doctor and he doesn't touch you or anything, but he just kind of feels your energy. And he asked me if I was taking apple cider vinegar. And I said, yes, I am, because I had this nodule on my finger. And I said, the nodule went away. Like in 30 days, right? Let's say 30 to 40 days. It went away from the apple cider vinegar. But he said, well, now you have too much acid in your body. And I said, oh. He said, yeah. So I said, well, I continued to take the vinegar because I wanted to prevent the nodule from coming back. And he's like, well, did you stop eating the smoked salmon? I said, yes, I did. He's like, so, and then the nodule went away? And I said, yes, it did. And he's like, so you don't really need to continue putting that much acid in your body. So I say that to just caution everybody, a lot of people that do just talk to your doctor or a holistic or a nutritionist about it before you do apple cider vinegar all the time. You may be putting too much acid in your body.
You've got some recipes on your website for delicious looking pasta dishes and desserts as well, yeah, which kind of surprised me because typically that's not something we would allow ourselves on a diet or think that we're allowed to have when we're on a diet. Talk about how you're able to get those things to be healthy.
Well, the first thing is to realize that a bikini lifestyle is a lifestyle. It's not a diet. I mean, it's a diet in the sense of what you eat and drink every day is part of your diet, but it's not a diet to lose weight or whatever. So again, it's the pastas it's usually a quinoa pasta. One of my favorite dishes on my website and in my cookbook are my orzo pasta salad. I mean, it's incredible salad. Just really delicious, beautiful, colorful. It has but it still has the healthy fats, lean proteins, high fiber foods. But you're not going to eat that every single day. So what you want to do on pasta day is you want to make that your more active day. If you're not golfing, if you're not exercising, then save the pasta for a day when you are. You're not going to eat that every single day. When it comes to dessert, yes, I make a lot of really flavorful desserts. Now, some of them on my website, I do have, the worst for you on my dessert on my website is my bourbon pumpkin cheesecake, but boy, is it good. And the way you make that bikini is that came about during Thanksgiving, season one year. And I was like, I just have to make this. And my nephew wanted cheesecake. He loves cheesecake. And, but it's also the portion control. So when a typical pie is 8 slices. Well, I'll slice it into 16 slices. So you're getting a smaller portion, but you're not losing any flavor. And again, you're not going to eat that every single day. I do enjoy a square, an ounce of dark chocolate in the evenings, most evenings, not every evening, but most evenings. But yeah, and it's not realistic for, I don't want to say the average person. It's just not realistic unless you are an extreme athlete that is just training for a specific high level event that requires you to really be on a very regimented diet. Let's face it, you want to enjoy the fruits of the world, the desserts, the pastas, but you're not going to eat them all the time. And you're going to make sure that the portion is realistic. So a pasta should be probably around, depending on what's male, female, your size and activity levels, but it's going to be between 4 and 8 ounces of pasta. You don't need any more pasta than that. You don't need a huge serving of dessert. You just need a taste, And when you do that, you'll actually come to appreciate it more as well, because you'll feel better. Goes back to how you feel.
There you go. Susan, just a couple more before I let you go, and you are the absolute queen of the great apron designs. You certainly seem like you have one for almost every occasion. Talk about styling in the kitchen and on camera with your wonderful apron collection.
When you look great, feel great, people have more fun, right? And so Couture Aprons, it's a mother-daughter design team out of, the daughter lives in Texas, mom lives in Arizona, and I was introduced to them, and they're Couture Aprons, and they just make these incredible aprons, and they were kind of, I think, originally meant to just kind of wow your guests, but I love cooking in them, and I haven't messed one up to date, so that I call a blessing. But yes, there's an apron for every occasion, and not only that, they'll custom make you. So they'll custom make one for you, Chris.
There you go. All right.
They will make you a men's golf apron. They will do that for you. But they use these high quality fabrics, these linen fabrics, attention to detail. Even for men, like men need some bling, right? I bet you got like a nice watch you enjoy wearing and things like that. So, men can have a little bling on their apron as well, but it's so much fun. And it just, when you dress well, whether it's in the kitchen or you make your dishes for your guest and then you put one on just, when your guests come over as a fashion plate, you feel like $1 million, and then your food tastes better too. So
there you go. Susan, before I let you go, remind our listeners how they can go out and get copies of your wonderful books, all the things that you also have available for people on your website, and then how they can stay up to date with you on social media as well.
I would absolutely love to help people with in their kitchens and with their health goals, whatever that may be, with my food healing kitchen makeover program. It's really a fun program, and we supervise that with your doctor. So, it's customized to you, but we want to make sure that it's in line with your health goals, and you can find that, my cookbooks, aprons, my kitchen tools at theBikiniChef.com. It's my website. and you just shop and got aprons, cookbooks, kitchen tools. Then in social media, on Facebook, it's at the Bikini Chef. Go and like my page. My channel on YouTube is at the Bikini Chef. I'm starting to post some really fun videos over there on YouTube channel, so check those out. And Instagram, I'm everywhere. I'm pretty much at the Bikini Chef. You can find me.
Susan, it's always so much fun when you're a part of the show, and it's informative on top of all of that. I hope we get the privilege of having you back on the show again before too long.
I just love being here. I love, I don't play golf, but most of my family does. Actually, I took some golf lessons before, and they said I had a great swing, but if I'm going to spend 4 hours, I think I'm better in the kitchen. So I'll feed all you guys when you come off the golf course. How about that? But,
that's a deal.
Yeah, I love it. So thank you always for having me. It's so much fun. I love what you do. You're so supportive in social media channels, and you always have great information and stories to tell. So I am really appreciative and grateful for you having me back on the show, and I'll come back anytime.
Thank you so much, Susan. You're the best.
I got one more thing.
Please.
America's Next Bikini Chef. I'm taking it online. It's going to be online, men and women cooking and fitness competition. So look out for that coming soon.
Where are we going to find it? It's going to be on YouTube?
It's going to be on YouTube and in Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So everybody around the country is that's 21 years of age and older invited to compete. And we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm really excited. So it's America's Next Bikini Chef, the online cooking and fitness competition. And we're looking to launch that in about 30, 45 days.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
I expect you to compete.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll certainly tune in and watch. Okay. Susan, you're the best. I can't thank you enough. All the best to you and your family. I look forward to catching up with you again soon.
All right, you too. Thank you.
See you, Susan.
Bye.
That is the great Susan Irby, folks. And again, all the places, right? TheBikiniChef.com, at The Bikini Chef is where you're going to find her on YouTube and on social media. Go out there and subscribe to that YouTube channel. And go check out her website, because I'm telling you, she's got so many wonderful recipes. They're going to shock you, right? You're going to go out there and you're going to look and you're going to say, well, we're all so conditioned, if you will, in our minds to think that any sort of diet, and to Susan's point, it doesn't mean you're trying to actually lose weight. A lot of us are, but it is really a lifestyle kind of thing, right? So how do we eat healthier? How do we stay healthier? And how do we end up feeling better? Right? I loved how she talked about the correlation between the things we eat and how our bodies feel. How many of us have something, right? We have a knee injury. We have knee pain. We have hip pain. We have back pain. Well, you know what? A lot of the times it's the things we're putting into our bodies that's causing that inflammation and causing that pain. And if you're willing to make a change, and she's got, like I say, a lot of great recipes, a lot of great advice for how to do that, right? Without sacrificing flavor, without having something that is bland to eat on top of all of that, right? So that it's going to be something that you don't want to do, right? How many of us say, I'm going to start that diet up next week, right? Because we look at it in a way that makes us feel like it's going to suck. Well, you know what? She's got so many things for you that's going to make it flavorful, and it's going to make you feel satisfied and happy when you put the food in your mouth. And then later on, it's going to make your body happy. And I bet you a lot of that pain starts to go away. So go out there and check out her website. Check out her YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe to that. And then 30, 45 days from now, you're going to have something fun to watch. I mean, look, like I said at the top of the show, America's Next Bikini Chef won awards, and it was nominated for several others. There's a reason why, because it's great, it's fun, and Susan is just fantastic. We'll get her back on the show, I promise. We'll try to get her back on maybe sometime this summer to help us, remind us about the things we should and should not be eating when we're out there on the golf course.